person in the United States, you know you pay Social Security, you know you'll never get it out, but you're giving into the system. So they're using fake social.
So they have fake Social Security.
Yeah, and they can get those on the street. So, yeah, so, that's why they say that, that's why people who are for, comprehensive immigration reform say you have to do everything at once. You can't just enforce one tier of it, but you have to remedy everything at once, because trying to improve one part of immigration and not focusing on the other parts will be less effective. Yeah.
Can they also buy fake birth certificates?
Well, why would they
No,
want?
I mean the undocumented workers, but they get a fake U.S. birth certificate.
I don't know. I don't know that. I mean, I don't think they need one. I mean, I think what they need.
Yeah, but that would prove that they were a citizen.
Well, you have to. No, I think it's probably more involved than that. Yeah. Yeah.
In chapter 9 in your book, you speak of a young lady going to ASU studying.
Very, yeah.
Is Barry going to be the one that graduates in aeronautical engineering?
Yes.
I'm wondering if she was going to ever graduate.
She is slated to graduate this spring. Her sister is the one, remember I told you earlier about the mom who was crossing the desert with the kids and the dad didn't want her, and her husband rejected her and she had to start this life, and she has these two honor students graduating from college. Veri is going to graduate this spring, and her sister, who graduated last year, waited for Veri, and the two of them are going to march up together to get their diplomas, but they can't work. So Veri will have to seek graduate school someplace, see if she can get a scholarship someplace, and go to graduate school. And what the kids do is they go to graduate school and then hope. Yeah, they have endless hope.
Do you stay in contact with Barry?
I do. Yeah, I do.
How do you, assuming that these horrible bills, the omnibus bill, which
I think they'll pass.
how is that going to impact those existing undocumented people, as far as schooling and healthcare is concerned?
Well, they don't qualify for health care now. They don't qualify for public benefits now.
Schooling they do. I mean, now everybody has a right to have education.
Right, but that goes against federal. What happens in Arizona is a lot of these laws are passed and then they're tested through the courts at our expense, taxpayers. We have federal law that says that every child is entitled to school. So, this whole thing with Arizona is going to be tested, is going to be, on constitutional grounds. They're all going through the courts. So that's what's going to happen. But they don't qualify. I mean, immigrants, with very rare exceptions, qualify. They don't qualify for public benefits. And they know it. Yes.
Yes, and material I'm getting about Social Security, there's a group in Arizona that one of the, included in their petition is that they bring up this secret treaty with Mexico that the immigrants have a right to Social Security. Can you speak to that?
Well, there are a lot of secret treaties and stuff like that, a lot of conspiracy theories, and it's interesting that you bring that up, because I think that what's happening with the immigration movement, the Minutemen, et cetera, that is now morphing into a patriot movement. And that is very conspiracy theory based very often. I mean, I'm not saying everybody who believes that is a conspiracy theorist, but the La Raza has, some sort of a, they're going to, the Reconquista, they're going to come over and take over the United States, et cetera, et cetera. It's not, it's that kind of conspiracy theory that you're probably talking about.
Is that? I mean, it's very frightening. I mean, I'm sure people who are, you know, desperate to save their Social Security, you know, can be, you know, pulled into that kind of thinking that there are this treaty that says that if they paid into Social Security, they can ship the money down to Mexico and then they're deported. I mean, it's building on
You
the
know,
whole atmosphere of fear and,
Yeah. Well, they can't, if they're undocumented, unauthorized immigrants, they cannot get their Social Security. They can't get it. They pay it, but they can't get it because they're using fake cards. And it's a public benefit, and they can't get public benefits. Yeah.
To that point, one of my friends was an illegal for many years and became a citizen as a result of the first amnesty.
86, yeah.
And he paid Social Security, worked for Honeywell for many, many years, paid Social Security and taxes. And after about 15 years, he was told he had to call the Social Security office because there was a mix-up. They called the Social Security office and they asked for his Social Security number. He gave it to them. They said, well, that belongs to somebody else. And he said, well, he honestly didn't know.
Yeah.
And he had been paying Social Security all those years. They put him on hold and came back and said, oh, you're the other 482, whatever the number was. And so the Social Security system is very, very aware of this.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm told this is something like an $80 billion
Yeah.
benefit to the rest of us.
It is.
And these people never receive it.
Yes. It's called, gosh, I'm having a brain cramp. There's a name for it. It's unclaimed funds. And it accrues and accrues and accrues and makes more and more money in interest and benefits the rest of the Social Security system. And they all know this. I mean, I didn't speak to a single immigrant who didn't know that he was paying into it. I want to say one other thing. It really, I mean, to emphasize again, these people really opened up to me, not because I'm a cool person or anything, because it has anything to do with me, but because they want you to know who they are. They saw me as a conduit to you guys, to people who look like me. And again, to that point, they were incredibly generous with their time. And for the most part, they've been, what I viewed in Arizona during the time that I reported this was that they have this point of view is you just keep on going on, you know. You don't hold the rest of the Anglo community responsible for these laws. They're bearing this with collectively with incredibly good spirit so far. I mean, in terms of not thinking that everyone is responsible for it who looks like me. Yes, sir.
This immigration is a form of slave labor. If they would pay the prevailing wage, proper wage, it may cost us a little more in our food products and things coming in. But we may be able to get some of the people that's there on welfare and unemployment a job where they can afford to work and maintain a place to live. And to me, this is slave labor. And I
Yeah, well, you're not the only one who
slavery.
thinks that. Yeah, you're not the only one who thinks that. And, you know, studies have been done on who the immigrants displace. And they tend to, because they tend, I'm not saying all immigrants, but many undocumented immigrants are, you know, manual laborers, low-skilled laborers. They tend to displace American workers who don't have high school degrees and who would fill those same jobs. And they also displace immigrant workers who came before them. So, you know, comprehensive immigration reform would address that again, but going back to the larger issue of globalization, that's another story. But for this problem right now, comprehensive immigration reform would address that because it would require work permits and workplace enforcement. Somebody else had a question back there? Yes, sir.
Are you familiar with the tortilla curtain, T.C. Boyle, the tortilla curtain?
Yeah.
What do you think?
What is it?
It's a book. It's a book. I started to read it and I couldn't get through it. I bought it, tried to read it, and couldn't get through it.
What's the
Tell me.
tortilla what?
Curtain.
Tortilla curtain, like the iron curtain, T.C. Boyle's one of those curtains, tortilla curtain.
Yeah.
It's, I got it.
Yeah.
Well, tell me what you think.
Also,
I think it's incredible.
There's,
He does with fiction what you try to do with nonfiction, I think.
How about one more
Yeah, one more
question or so we've got, or two questions? We're approaching 10 o'clock.
yes.
As the hypocrisy of this great state is just overwhelming. And the people who go out and hire the illegal
Right.
immigrants for their own personal benefit.
Right.
When the economy goes south, the immigrants become the scapegoats, and they tend to be dehumanized.
Yes.
Your talk is extremely educational to us, but you're more or less preaching to the choir because we agree
Right.
with you 100%. Do you ever go out and speak to your children at tea parties?
I will speak to anyone who, they don't invite me. I speak mostly to university groups. I rarely speak to partisan groups. And again, I'm here not because I'm a Democrat, I'm not.
But you're educational.
But I'm here to just speak about the topic because I cover it as a journalist. But I won't go on talk radio if it's hateful. That's where I draw the line. I mean, I have been invited to do talk radio, but when I listen to it, it is so hateful and so angry I won't do it.
It's a form of ethnic cleansing, really, is what they're trying to do, make this an Aryan zona type of state. And I just wonder, can we get this message that these are real people we're talking about that help the state to help them? But you don't do that.
Well, yeah, because this is an incredibly nuanced and complicated problem, and it's so much easier to describe it in sound bites. Illegals take jobs, illegals are crowd, they're doing this, they're doing that, and the truth is so much more nuanced and complicated. So, to counter something like that, you'd have to say, well, but this study and that study, and it's not as
And they won't listen.
It's not emotional.
it's not, and you've got an incredibly marginalized population of people who've lost their own jobs and who are angry anyway. And I think that we have to, at least for me, I have to understand and respect where they're coming from. And if they're told that immigrants, are doing the things that immigrants are not doing, but they're told that over and over and over again, I have to try to understand where the pain comes from within these people that causes them to think the way they think.
It's not true.
It's not true, yeah.
Let's have a last question.
Yeah.
Tia has her hand
Oh, yeah, I'm
up.
so sorry.
And then we need to wrap this up. Terry's gonna draw the things for the drawing.
Yeah.
But let's finish up.
Yes.
I'll answer. I was
Okay.
just wondering if there's a movement or an agency that does microfinance loans to individuals who are illegal immigrants, so that they might, if these educated young people could start some entrepreneurship.
Oh, gosh,
Also in Mexico, if there is some kind of an agency that does that.
That's a really good question, and if you give me your email, I'll research it. I don't know the answer.
It seems like it would be a kind of a back door for people.
Some of the kids,
People to get jobs.
yeah, some of the kids, some of the dreamers that we were talking about who can't work legally, some of the things that they do are entrepreneurial. They fix computers, they manage social media, they do website design, stuff like that to get by. So they sell real estate because they can be their own business. Not that the real estate is doing so
Some kind
well.
of microfinancing loan system would be helpful helpful for them, I think.
You know who I would say that probably in Arizona the most powerful, most active immigrant advocacy group is Chicanos por la Causa.
Chicanos for what?
La Causa, CPLC, yeah.
Okay, we want to thank Terry. Remember that she has her books for sale up here, discounted price.